Some people call it hell. Have you ever been to hell? Do you want to go to hell? I know where you can live a living
Playing with conviction, that's why superstars are superstars. Because they know their shit and they do it fucking 100% every time.
Very cool. So let's move on to the last song on the EP. It's called The Ocean, which is another very personal song for you, I believe.
Yes. So, but getting back to Your Name,
Sorry.
there's a film clip for that.
Oh, is it?
Yes. One.
I did have that in my notes,
very
but I thought I'd
drunk Squirty at fucking, I don't know, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, didn't want to go to bed, pissing down rain, and actually I think that's why I stayed in the shed, because I didn't want to get wet going up into the house. So I pulled out the video camera, and as I said, you know, the back of the shed was set up for filmography and photography, and so I got my little boom box out and done a film clip. So when you're watching that film clip, just have a think about how drunk I am.
And we're going to include both of these film clips for the interviews?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I think it's important that people get a visual of where you're at that stage of your life as well as just hearing it.
Yeah.
So
well,
I can provide photos if you like.
Now, they're in that safety deposit box, mate.
So back to The Ocean, like I said, The Ocean, it's a very personal song to you, and we touched on this before, but do you think that you put not more effort but more concentration into making things right and easier when it's more personal?
When it's more personal, it just seems to fall into place a lot better. For some reason, I'm not really sure why, but it was another easy song to write, and in actual fact, it's one of those songs that happened so quickly that I kept trying to put more and more and more into it, and I just had to tell myself, look, you know, pull the reins back here. You're getting a bit ahead of yourself. You've got the whole less is more thing going on, and now you're just trying to put more and more and more into it because the song happened quickly. The songs, when you look at the actual project itself, I think there's probably only about 8 or 9 tracks. In the project, there's about 22 tracks. Mm-hmm. So the rest of those tracks are all muted. They're just not being used.
And when you say the project, what's the project?
The project in Reaper, I use Reaper, Kenny Goya, reapermania.com, fucking, he's your man if you use Reaper. Reaper's an awesome program, very user friendly, and when you plug something in it just goes, ooh, there's something new, yeah.
Actually,
Let's try it out and use it, you know.
Enough about Reaper, this is about
yeah. Anyway, so a project. So when you start a new song and you've got all your track listings there, that's a project.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got your drums, guitar, bass.
So you get to choose out of the project what goes in.
Yeah. You can solo stuff. You can mute stuff.
And I'm learning like you were back then now. So.
Yeah. Well, I suggest you watch this video and then listen to the album.
Is that the Reaper?
With Reaper. I'm using Studio One now, by the way. Professional. So The Ocean, that came very quickly, but I kept trying to put more into it and it just didn't fit, and it turned out I was quite happy with the end result, with how it was initially recorded.
Well, me personally, I listened to this from track 1 through to track 6, and this is track 6 on it. I can tell there's a massive difference from everything from your guitar playing through to your vocal delivery. But now you're sitting back, like you've obviously listened to all this stuff before we put it out. Can you hear the difference yourself?
Yes.
And how big is that difference?
Yeah. Oh, it's Well, I mean, I can't really judge how big or small the difference is, but because I can think back to when I was actually doing it and recording it, and you know, and it all boils down to the tools of the trade, the tricks that you use, and all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, clearly from that very first strum on that acoustic guitar to the ocean, if anyone can't hear the difference, I hope I'm not hurting anyone's feelings here, but they probably shouldn't be listening to music, you know, honestly. Yeah, so, you know, the Your Name song was the turning point for me. The Ocean was just one of those ones that came so quickly after Your Name. It was written and recorded exactly the same as how Your Name was recorded. I had that workflow going.
So for someone that's been listening to you sing in some form or other for 20, 25 years, that song doesn't sound like you. Like, vocally it's different. Like, what's...
The Ocean?
The Ocean, yeah. What's going on
yes. There? I tried double vocaling for a change. So, double vocaling is when, you know, you double up your vocals.
So you record one and then you overlap it, basically, or...?
Yeah, so you have, say, vocal track 1, you record your vocal, and then you have vocal track 2, you record that vocal, and then you join the two of them together.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got a real, you know, this is the ocean, you know, like a real deep, and a real this is the ocean, like a bit of an octave up, you know, and
so
you blend
pre-balls dropping and post-balls dropping Squirty in the one song.
Yeah, and then there's no balls at all.
Ballless Squirty.
Yeah, ballless. So I dabbled in that, and that was another breakthrough for me as well, because I discovered that I was able to go 3 octaves sometimes in my vocal, depending on what key it was. And I'm very good at making my voice sound like it's not my voice as well. So there could be, even though they're both my voice, it could be 2 different voices.
Yeah. And that's not effects, that's you actually doing that.
That's not effects, that's just me doing that. So yeah, so that was pretty cool, and I do that on a few other songs later on in the series as well. Yeah, I love it. And when I'm recording bands at Classic Rock Central at Kalanga, that's Classic Rock Central, owner-operator Pete Nikolai.
Gratuitous plug.
Free plug. I usually get people to double vocal everything just to give that left-right stereo effect, and it sounds great. Sometimes it can be difficult matching, I mean, because you have to sing exactly and phrase exactly words how you done it the first time. Yeah, so it can be a little bit difficult at times, but if you stick with it and keep going with it, it's really, really effective. It sounds great.
So that period covers, the L Plates period covers roughly 2012 to 2014, and these are, like I say, these are your initial batch of songs. So looking back just on that period, how much would you say is confidence and how much would you say is ability?
Oh, okay. I've always been a confident muso. I know I've got a good ear. You know, I've been in and out of bands for fucking years. I've done a couple of jam nights with David Lynch, you know, and that's when you really learn how to fucking play. When someone comes up to you and says, I want to sing this song, and you don't know how the song goes, and you got to think back and go, fucking hell, how the fuck is this thing? Because you've heard the song a million times, you just never played it, you know. That's when you learn, you know. So confidence for me is easy. I've always been a confident player. My ability, on the other hand, as in the song The Room will tell you, is very limited. Yeah, I mean, here I am learning, you know, drums and beats and keyboards and even picking up on a guitar and strumming a guitar. I'm very, very limited in that respect as a muso. But you keep going and persevere, and you know, I found ways around it to make it sound like I was a confident player with the whole, you know, copy paste thing. But when you get up to what I'm recording nowadays, I'm doing my best to one take everything, and I'm actually not copy and pasting anything anymore. I'm playing the actual songs. I'm playing all the way through them, and just developing as a whole, not just as a musician but as a engineer. You know, dare I say it, a producer. Go and produce my own music, you know. Even mixing and mastering. I love mixing. It's kind of the area that I really want to tap into, mixing. Only because you can have so many variations of a song when you mix it. So many variations. But when you listen to the client and what they actually want, and then when you give and produce or mix exactly what they're after, job done.
Yeah. So I know it's different for every person, obviously, but like you looking back now, like, and there's people here watching this that are looking at starting into this road that you're on. Would you advise that they threw themselves in the deep end like you did back then, or would you advise that they learnt individual aspects as they go along, or actually individual aspects before they go along?
Well, the thing with me is, in 2012, how old was I in 2012?
41.
41? Yeah.
Okay.
So, I was a fucking old muso at 41. That's just starting to record, you know. But if you've got a, you know, 14, 15-year-old that wants to get into the recording side of things, go to JCM or go to somewhere that can teach you the fundamentals. Just go and spend a couple of years there first. You know, I had the luxury of being in and out of studios for the last 25 years.
So you've been taking things in.
Even though I haven't physically been shown what does what and what button does this and what does that.
Outline.
You know, it would have been great to be able to sit in on some sessions and be talked through the process on, you know, this is what we're doing now, and this is how we're doing this, and this is why we're doing this, and we need to replace that because that would have been awesome. But it never happened. So, you know, me teaching myself, you know, and YouTube's been fucking great, you know, it's been awesome. Like I said before, for every 10 shit videos you come across, there's always that one good one that applies to you and one that you can use and continue to use. Yeah, so I mean, most people my age are doing this anyway. You know, honestly, they've got their computers and their audio interfaces, and they're plugging their guitar in, and they're getting their ideas down, and they're writing, you know, demos, and which is ultimately what all these are. They're just all demos. But the reason I'm putting them out there is because I just want everyone, young and old, to know that if you're starting in this, it's cool to make mistakes.
And it doesn't matter how old you are when you start. Like you say, you were 41 when you started doing it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how old you are if you've got the passion and the heart.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't matter how, you know, and even at work, there's a couple of guys at work that are like, oh God, I wish to have picked the guitar up when I was younger. I'm like, pick it up now. Just do it, you know. Marty Schwartz, guitarjams.com. He's your man. You know, just go YouTube. Get onto it, you know. People don't realise how much is at their fingertips.
Especially in the modern age.
Yeah. That's how I got through, and that's what I was saying before. Kenny Goya, reapermania.com. He has helped me so much through the whole learning process. And you can just do searches on videos. You know, oh, I want to send an effects channel to a bus and send it back to here, and how do you do that? Search it, boom, there's the video. This is how you do this. You know, so yeah, just do it, keep doing it, and practice makes perfect.
The old cliche, but it's true.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, so that brings to a close the L plates, the first chapter. So what would you say that you took out of recording the songs in this chapter that you'll use in the future?
Cut. Can you ask that again, please?
Alright, so this concludes the L plates chapter. So this is when you very first started recording your own music, writing it, and putting it all out there. So what lessons from this particular block of songs did you take into the future?
What lessons? Basically, well, obviously the big one is you learn from your mistakes. If something doesn't sound right, generally it's because it doesn't, and you need to find a way to, you know, fix it, or
So don't get despondent, just go, this is shit, I'm shit, that's it. Like, you can just come back to it and, how am I going to fix this, how am I going to make it better?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so it all went pear-shaped at some stage. Where did it go pear-shaped? How did it go pear-shaped? And how do I stop this from happening in the future? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, you learn from your mistakes. You just got to persevere. And the thing is, if you're making a mistake, or if there's an issue that arises and you just can't seem to resolve that issue, oh, I know where you're going with this. Yeah, cut. Oh, yeah, what did I say before? Because the remedy to the issue mightn't fix it yet, you know, for another 3 or 4 goes. You know, you might come across 5 or 6 remedies to that issue, and then all of a sudden, boom, you'll find the remedy that does fix it.
And then all that past bullshit will just be like, what was I so worried about?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, now I know where you were going.
So like I said, that wraps up the L plates, the first EP. The next one is the Red Peas. So what can we expect from that?
Okay, so Red Peas. Obviously, I'm honing my skills a little bit better. So my recording skills. At this stage, I found a couple of new virtual instrument programs that were ones that I actually bought. Yeah, so the songs, the structures of the songs, they're a bit more poppy. As Tookie would say, Tookie Power.
From Ceremony.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Love ya. Sing along ability.
How do you spell that?
Look it up in the dictionary and you see a picture of Tookie. Yeah, so, you know, all these, the L plates were very experimental and a huge learning curve. And then all of a sudden I became very comfy in writing, and the creativity was just pouring out of me. But they all were toe tapping, sing along ability, rock, pop, you know, radio friendly songs. Yeah, which was quite surprising again. I never knew I had that in me, you know. But yeah, Red Peas. The songs are getting slightly better. The recording's definitely getting better. Yeah, so hopefully you'll stick around and want to listen to the Red Peas and then Green Peas and then Opens. Wait until you get to Opens. Oh,
I haven't even heard Opens yet, but I'm sure it's good.
Yeah. So from L's to Opens, massive change. It's almost like my band years.
Yep.
There's some very, you know, wide range of genres in there, and this is what's happening with me as I'm progressing. I'm getting back to my roots. By the time we get to the Opens, I'm in my roots.
Yeah.
I'm where I am comfortable. Songs that I like playing, songs I like writing, songs that I like listening to.
And that's a long journey to get the Opens.
That's
Like,
a long journey.
The Red Peas. We got what's after that?
Green Peas.
The Green Peas. This is all New South Wales Victorian licensing, isn't it?
And Queensland.
Oh, well, I never went through that. I went straight from my L's to my Opens on the bike.
Yeah.
Might be why I crashed it. But it sounds like it's a fascinating journey. I say I've been there through a lot of the journey. Thank you very much for sharing it with us, mate.
Thank
Thank you guys very much for being a part of it, and stay tuned for part 2, the Red Peas, very soon.
Thanks, guys.
That's awesome, man.
Cool, mate.
That was really fucking good.
How long did that go for?